There are in the world just a few things that are known without question to be the best of their kind. A Habano, or Havana cigar, is one of them. Nowhere in the world grows tobacco better than Cuba, but even there, only a few selected farms are judged good enough to grow the tobacco for Habanos. These are called the Vegas Finas de Primera, first-class fields. There are 4 regions in Cuba where tobacco is cultivated for Habano cigars: Vuelta Arriba, Partido, Semi-Vuelta, and Vuelta Abajo. This last region, located in Pinar del Rio province, is considered to be the finest cigar tobacco growing land in the world. All enjoy the natural gifts of the Cuban soil and the Cuban climate that are found nowhere else. 2 distinct forms of cultivation produce the different types of leaf required. One is for wrapper leaves, which are grown in tapado, or covered fields shaded from end to end by muslin cloth that filters the sunlight and traps the heat so the leaves grow larger and finer. Lower leaves supply the lighter colored wrapper. Upper leaves produce the darker colored ones. The other is for filler and binder leaves, which are grown in the open, enjoying the full benefit of the Cuban sun. There are 3 main types of leaf taken from different levels on the plant. Ligero, from the top for full flavored filler leaves. Seco, from the middle for medium flavored leaves, the most important for aroma. And Volado, from the bottom of the plant for lighter flavored fillers, especially valued for their combustibility, as well as binders. Work starts in the burning heat of June and July and continues without respite for 9 months. Seedlings are grown in special seed beds. After 45 days, they are ready to be planted out. Different fields are planted at different times so as to spread the burden of work in each season. The time from planting the seed to completion of harvest is around 17 weeks for shade-grown plants and 16 weeks for sun-grown. The farmer visits each plant around 150 times in the course of the growing season. Harvest is a laborious task because each leaf must be picked by hand. Only 2 or 3 leaves can be taken at a time, with days to wait between each picking. The harvesting of a single plant takes close to 30 days to complete. The harvested leaves are taken to the farmer's barn for air curing. It is a slow and careful period of air curing, which removes moisture and turns the leaf by stages to golden brown. The leaves are sewn in pairs and hung astride poles, which are placed on racks in the barn. As the leaf cures, so the pole is raised progressively higher in the racks. Once the leaf is cured, the farmer's job is done and the task passes to the escogida, or sorting house. Both wrapper and filler and binder leaves will be now submitted to a fermentation process which is done in pilones, or piles, for 25 to 30 days in order to soften leaves' flavor. All the leaves must then be sorted and classified. Wrappers, as you might expect, get the closest attention. Size, color, and texture are the 3 criteria that guide the sorters. They are classified into a bewildering array of some 50 different categories designed to ensure that only the most perfect will ever dress a Habano. At this stage, the lower portion of the central vein is stripped out of filler and binder leaves. At the same time, they conduct the final classification into the 3 tiempos. Finally, the leaves are stacked in small piles and pressed between boards. Filler and binder leaves are submitted to a second fermentation process, more intense than the first and at higher temperatures. After the second fermentation, Filler and binder leaves are sorted and classified again, then packed in pacas, or bales, which are transferred to Havana. Here, they will join the wrapper leaves packed in tercios, bales made from palm bark, for the final patient process of aging for different periods, sometimes for as long as 2 years. Like fine wine, the longer the leaf is left to mature, the better it will be. Time has done its work, and the leaf is now ready at last to play its part in the making of a Habano. This process takes place at the legendary Cuban cigar factories, where craft has changed little in nearly 200 years. Precious wrappers are prepared for their final purpose in the moja, or moistening department. Here the gavillas, bunches of 40 to 50 leaves, are held under a fine spray of pure water. The aim of this process is to give back their soft and uniform aspect as well as their elasticity. Excess droplets are then shaken off with practiced flourishes to avoid any staining. Later on, the leaves are hung on racks that are taken to the airing department, where temperature and relative humidity are controlled. They will stay here until the moisture is absorbed evenly. Then the tender hands of highly skilled women perform the despalillo, stripping, and the rezagado, grating. Despalillo consists of one movement that deftly removes the entire central vein of the leaf, leaving its two halves ready for rezagado. She gently grades them into some 20 finely distinguished sizes and shades. The number of women working in this department lends weight, perhaps, to the popular myth that Habanos are rolled on maidens' thighs. Filler and binder leaves are carefully removed from their bales for examination. If necessary, they are aired on racks to remove excess moisture. It is a remarkable feature of Cuban tobacco that such a small acreage of Vegas finas de primera can produce a wide variety of flavors from area to area. They call the blending department la barajita, literally the pack of cards, because the process of assembling the leaves for a blend is similar to shuffling cards. There is an established link between the factory and the areas that supply the leaf for the brands it manufactures. Nevertheless, it is the master blender's responsibility to sample the flavor of the tobaccos in use from day to day. He carries the recipe for each brand and size in his head and is guardian of their consistency. The ratio of each type of leaf that the master blender specifies for the cigars in production is issued to the cigar rollers for the day's work.